How are we? Welcome to Paranormal Witchcraft LLC. I am Tobias Josephson. Good morning. All right. So we're starting something a little brand new today. All right. And so we're going to start a containment over chaos trademarked. All right. It is a little structural education series we have come up with here at Paranormal Witchcraft. So containment over chaos. Class 1 this morning, foundations of activations. Before we interpret our environment, we need to regulate ourselves first. Okay? Good morning, blessings and blessed be dark light. How are we? I believe Chris himself is running late. So let's get into this. Containment over chaos. Class 1, foundations of activation. Containment over chaos, class 1, foundations of activation. And before we want to interpret an environment for paranormal investigating, or you're doing a haunting investigation at like Penhurst or something, or you're doing a haunting, a spiritual attacks case, okay, you're going to want to make sure you are regulated so you can help your clients and so you can do a proper haunting or paranormal investigation. Paranormal witchcraft and this series exist for one reason. We exist to reduce escalation in high intensity environments. Activation is not paranormal, my friends. When people are escalating things, that is not the paranormal. They want you to believe the sensational, dramatic narrative is paranormal, but what it is, it's humans activating the energy, all right, and then everyone else gets caught up in that energy. Activation is simply physiological. Let that land engagement. When you're entering a location and you feel something immediately, what did you guys assume first? Okay? When I went to in a place, all right, and immediately felt a change, here's what I assumed first. One, either there was energy at that location or somebody in our group was turned up all the way, all right? And that could be somebody who had Red Bull and maybe they have side habits and so they're under substance influence. All right. Do you assume the space changed or was it your nervous system that shifted? This is an important pause. What activation actually is? Physical activation is the body's stress response. That's what it is, my friends. It sharpens your perception. It's there for a reason, but it narrows your interpretation. When adrenaline rises, your brain immediately prioritizes threat detection over nuance. That means ambiguity feels dangerous to you, and that's just a human response. That's why we're educating about it today. Okay? Normal sounds will feel intentional, movement feels directed, all right, or against you. Your body's trying to protect you. But protection is not always precision. What are your personal activation tells? So what that means is by saying tells, that means what do you notice about your body, friends? If you're doing paranormal investigations or the next time you go in, do you notice something? Do you notice your body is trying to protect you? Are you using faster breathing? Is there suddenly tunnel vision where you're focused on something that has you turned up? Increased sensitivity to sound? Do you find yourself easily irritable right now? Let's chat, my guys, my girls. YouTube. Perception amplifies. Narrative will then start to accelerate because you're turned up. You're starting to become affected. The faster this narrative builds, the harder it will be for every one of you guys to reverse it. Okay, so go into the place like we've been talking about all week with grounding, with responsibility, with ethics first and foremost, because that creates safety not only for us, but for the spirits and the location you are about to enter and eventually exit. And so this classwork eventually down the road will teach you guys how to properly close things. Let's continue. The brain fills gaps under stress. Can you guys name a time in your life when that happened? I can name many. About 10 years ago, I was traveling to Michigan after a surgery. I had a resection. I was not in the best of shape. In all reality, my friends here on YouTube, I shouldn't have been traveling. But my ego told me it was perfectly fine with 28 stitches in my belly and a bottle of pain meds to get me through the bus ride, right? And so my brain started feeling stress as the trip went on. There was multiple bus changes, etc. And so what that did is that wore me down. The pain started to get to me. I was up for a couple days. All right. And so my brain started filling those gaps under stress. All right. And, when I would get off the bus, I would start looking over my shoulder, those type of things. So this is what we're talking about on a ghost hunt. When visual data is perhaps incomplete in some way, the brain completes it. We all know that to be true. It's scientifically be proven. We don't need to tell it. It's scientifically been proven. We don't need to discuss that any further. Under calm, normal conditions, completion is conservative, and under stress, completion during a hunt or a haunting investigation seems to be very threat orientated. That's why shadows become figures in those moments, sound becomes intent, silence becomes presence. Have you ever corrected yourself after reevaluating something calmly? Say you got into an argument with a friend, it ended up being a complete misunderstanding in the end. You guys are crying, you're hugging, and then you're best friends again. This is probably an easier example to use right now because you or them had to correct yourself. And that ultimately led to a complete reevaluating of the situation between you guys because you brought yourself down, you grounded, you self regulated, you let your mind bring itself back down to function normally. All right, so all that anxiety and all those gaps can be filled in for the right reasons. You'll have to excuse my moderator. He's still learning a lot. All right, so my friends, have you ever corrected yourself after reevaluating something calmly? We can use an example at paranormal investigations. I was at one and we were broken off from the group we were with. There were 5 other groups in the hunt. There was about 50 to 60 people. All right. And so me and Fonda had gone off to a wing of the place. I believe it was Penhurst, off the top of my head here. And we were just on our own, just kind of orbiting in dark rooms. I had a recording device. It's right in front of me. So I'm walking around just with this and my cell phone, Ghost Box recording in my pocket, in a completely dark room. You can't see. All right. And so we're over there for 10 to 15 minutes. I'm in one room. Fonda's a couple rooms down the hallway doing the same thing. And we come out into the main section, and there's 2 or 3 different teams that immediately just come running up to us, and they go, "Did you hear that? Oh my God!" And me and her were just like, "What?" And so we had to reevaluate because those people had an experience, right? And so for me and Fonda, we didn't want to let our brains fill the gaps like the other teams had some excitement. So we had to pause and reassess everything. And once we figured out what was going on, We stopped, reviewed the footage, blah, blah. But this is what happens at a hunt. People get excited. You're running for other teams. Hey, I got something. And what happens? Brains fill in the gaps. The excitement gets turned up. And sometimes some of the data is confused with real world issues. That's why shadows will become figures. Sound becomes intent in these moments when you're turned up. Silence becomes presence. Containment, self containment especially, is the difference between first impression and disciplined discernment and disciplined assessment if you're going to paranormal investigations for the right reasons, meaning you don't want to make it sensationalistic all the time, every time. You just want to have a little bit of fun, but do it the right way. Containment, containment, containment. That means yourself, that means the places, that means the entities. Containment is the difference between first impression and disciplined assessment and disciplined investigations. We are not reactors. We are observers. We are only at these locations to perceive and possibly communicate and document some footage or some reactions. Activation is human. Escalation is optional, is what we're saying. How are we? Good morning. It's okay for being late. Just so you know, Chris, I have no social media apps on my phone anymore. So everything that comes in when I turn this tablet on floods the tablet. So I got your message. You're okay. Welcome, my friend. We are just about a third or so away through talking about containment over chaos this morning, which you know about. This is our new educational series. So we are about the point, Chris, I'll update you. The brain fills gaps under stress. When visual data is incomplete, the brain completes it for us. Under normal calm conditions, that completion is conservative and we're not giving it sensationalistic or some of our turned up emotions. Under stress at an investigation, that completion is threat orientated and the brain starts filling in the gaps. That's why some of these younger folk or newer folk might see shadows that become figures, sounds become intent, silence becomes presence, and so we're explaining the difference, Chris. We just asked the question, have you ever corrected yourself after reevaluating something calmly? And let's chat together. And then we just reinforced as you walked in how containment is the difference between first impression and disciplined assessment. And we are breaking into the sixth section. I had to pause. We are not reactors here at Paranormal Witchcraft, LLC. We are simply observers. Activation is human. Escalation is optional, meaning if you're going to push for a dramatic narrative at your ghost hunt, that is something your team's doing. And that is something we here at Paranormal Witchcraft, we're going to take a more ethical, responsible approach. Type in this chat, regulation first. Regulation first. If you agree, down below, please, my friends, type, Chris, regulation first. And do it in parentheses, Chris. So parentheses on one end, regulation first, parentheses, put a comment down below so everyone can see it for us. Thank you, my friend. So let's expand some further on the first page. This is why containment precedes evidence review. If you are activated, mean turned up, and you're not grounded, you will interpret ambiguity or dark spaces as agency, as actual spirits before even getting your cameras turned on. That's what that means. This is why containment should precede evidence review. Thank you, my friend. Regulation first. Have you ever reviewed footage, my friends, while you are agitated or still shaken or turned up or excited, and perhaps maybe you saw more anomalies or fewer? I know I have before. Our first hunt, we were going through our EVPs and we were really trying to make sense of the static and the distortion. And when we were first getting into this path, I remember me and Fonda were really trying to make stuff reach and work and fit. Like we heard something that was like, and we were trying to really make it a word. You're reaching, okay? So that's what we mean when you're saying if you reviewed the footage while agitated, turned up before you've had time to ground yourself and let the team reset its energies before you get into that, you might interpret the ambiguity as agency as something there. And that's why we're saying what he just said, regulation first, okay? Hence containment field manual. All right, I'll share that with you at this juncture and we'll pause for a second with this. This is something I'm going to be publishing. Paranormal Witchcraft Containment Field Manual, Structural Authority System for Paranormal Environments. And this is class number 1 this morning. All right. This is the prefaces of what we're getting into. This is step 1 this morning. If you've reviewed footage that way and you might have thought you saw more or less, okay? Would you see more or would you see less? Comment down below if you felt like that before. Because the brain searches for confirmation under stress all the time. Think about it. When you're going to a job interview, you're nervous and you're so because the brain searches for confirmation under stress, my friends, that's not weakness. That's biology. Emotional contagion. Intensity spreads faster than evidence. Activation spreads faster than evidence. Human nervous systems synchronize if one person escalates, others mirror. Now imagine an already tense location or situation. Add one activated ingredient or one activated investigator. All right, one fearful client is the example it gives here. What happens? Let's pause there for a second. Comment down below. What happens? Have you seen this dynamic before, friends? If you've been on a ghost hunt, Chris or Nikki or Dark Horse. That is Dark Horse, I believe. This is why leadership and investigation is regulation, not provocation, my friends. So, lead investigator Tobias, or if it's Matt Hornick from Blue Mountain Paranormal, he's the lead investigator for them, right? So, he is the leadership in that investigation. And if you notice, he is working on regulation the entire time. Good morning, Matt Hornick. If you're watching from afar, blessings and blessed be, my friend. One more week. One more week, and we will be in Pennsylvania doing a Gatsby ghost hunt. Can't wait. Can't wait. We are so excited. So excited, my friends. If you can't tell. I compose myself now. I am. I haven't hunted in almost 2 years. So I'm excited to get out there and hunt some stuff, some shit. Get into those creepy, wild, dark corners. Got those red lights going. We've got our energy on point. Me and Matt and teams are ready, and we are turned up to have some fun, play some poker, get dressed up, and investigate that old speakeasy. Okay? And the location is, I believe, one of the more haunted locations. Have you guys seen this dynamic before? This is why leadership in investigation is regulation, not provocation. Let that land, my friends. Pause for a few seconds. Regulation as authority. I've been reading this backwards. I'm sorry. I've been reading the end page. So we're going to have to go over it again because thanks to my little cats, they thought it'd be really cool to knock things over last night, flying off the printer. And so I've been reading the back half after the first half, and so that's why I'm doubling back. I have a friend for you guys to introduce to you this morning.
Hey there, friend. Welcome to the fun house. We've got fun and games and hugs.
So this is our friend Eddie. All right, Eddie will be going on the road with us.
Step right up, step right up, yes. You'll do nice, very tasty, healthy.
There we go. Put him aside.
Wow, you're a fast one.
Regulation is not suppression. It's deliberate pacing. When you slow your breathing, you're slowing your interpretation. When you slow your mind, you're slowing your interpretation. When you slow your interpretation, you slow your escalation. You regulate. You're not here to feel something, even if you want to be. That's the point here, my friends. You're here to evaluate, to investigate something, to learn something. What changes when you enter a room slowly instead of scanning aggressively? Let's stop there and ask that question. What changes when you enter a room or a place slowly instead of scanning it aggressively? I'll let you guys comment below if you have something to share. Chris, if there's something of note, highlight it in the comments below, and I'll pause and address it. The room stabilizes when you do that, is the answer. So let's read that again with now the solution. What changes when you enter a room or a location or a haunting slowly instead of scanning aggressively? The room stabilizes. Because you stabilize, you are learning how to regulate. So now we're going to move into the pattern recognition bias we were talking about 15 minutes ago and go over it a little more. The brain fills the gaps under stress, like we were talking about earlier. When visual data seems to be incomplete, your brain will complete it for you. If you look at scrying and stuff like that, that's the whole reason, is you're focusing, pulling your gaze back, loosening it, and then your brain is filling in those gaps for you in divination when it comes to scrying, water scrying, fire scrying. Okay, so there's a great example. And this is a great example to expand with, because that's showing that when the visual data is incomplete, my brain, your brain is completing it. Okay, so now put yourself in a dark room in an investigation. Does your brain not fill the gaps under stress? I believe it does. And under normal calm conditions, your completion, your regulation is going to stay conservative, even keel. It's not going to jump like a heartbeat. All right. All right. It's going to stay regulated. All right. Calm. Under stress, that completion is threat orientated. Your regulation doesn't know what to do. Your brain starts filling in the gaps. Your emotions start interpreting everything as a threat. Containment over chaos, my friends. Kind of catchy, but we're so tired of saying ghost this and ghost that and seance and investigation, because it's been done to death. All right, this is a more scientific, a more professional, and a more engaging way to do professional investigation, and I have the field manual to prove it. That's why shadows become figures in those moments. That's why those sounds can become intent. That's why silence can feel like presence. Have you ever corrected yourself after reevaluating something calmly, reevaluating a fight, an argument, or some form of evidence in investigation? And then we're going to reinforce that. If you're answering yes and responding yes, I have entered a place where I had to correct myself after reevaluating. All right. And so if there's comments, post them below. Containment is the difference between first impression and disciplined assessment. Identity reinforcement towards the end here. Thank you, Chris. Beautiful. We are not reactors as paranormal investigators, as paranormal researchers, as psychic intuitive mediums here, and as practicing witches at paranormal witchcraft. We are not reactors. We are observers. Activation is human, escalation is optional. Type in the chat regulate first. Now, Chris, if you would please, regulate. REGULATE first. And then we're inviting the audience today to type in the chat with us. We regulate first. We regulate first. So, going forward this year, my friends, when you're doing your paranormal investigations or your paranormal researching or you're entering a haunted location, you're doing an investigation or you're doing a spiritual attack service for a friend, remember when intensity rises, are you investigating it or are you becoming it? Tomorrow, we will move from activation into the containment protocol itself. Thank you, my friends. That concludes our very first class here for our very brand new and very public and very professional containment over chaos, paranormal investigation, structured authority system for anybody who wants to learn paranormal investigation in a more serious, responsible, or ethical manner. With that being said, let's throw some rocks.
You there? Do you want to play a game?
Yes, I do.
If I catch you, then I get to eat you.
All right. Well, let's hope that Eddie doesn't catch me. Eddie says,
Gotcha! Oh, I missed. Ah, well, I'll just have to catch the next one then. Hey there, friend. Welcome
right.
to the fun house. We've got fun.
I have to watch my time, my friends. We are visiting family from out of state today, and so I have to be off and out of here by 9 a.m. So let me watch my time. Okay, we got some time. About 15 minutes to do some witches ruins with you guys. By the way, I am Tobias Josephson. I completely forgot to introduce myself. I am the creator, the CEO, along with my wife, Fonda. All right, and we are Paranormal Witchcraft LLC. We have beautiful baddies that are affiliate team members and business owners with us. Those individuals are Sandy and Christine Bowersox. We have Kyle Kaczynski. We have Richard Williams. We have the paraprofessional some of you may know, Holly Staples Faust. We have Alex Floki Kruger. We have Brian Forshey. We have myself, Tobias Josephson. We have my wife, Fonda Josephson. We have Danielle Warrenma. And I am missing somebody, Stephen Blevins. I think I have everybody in the room. All right, and so they all have their own groups, their own businesses, their own teachings. But what we are is together, we are Paranormal Witchcraft. Okay, we are a team of obviously psychic, intuitive mediums, some of us, and practicers for the majority, or witches, sorcerers, if you will, that happen to love paranormal investigating. And so this is our interpretation of what an investigation team will be for us. All right? We're not here to compete. We're not here to call them out. And we are not here to steal anyone else's thunder. With that being said, please join us and welcome us, if you will, all right, to YouTube environment. We have the Scythe, my friends. We have Romance that was cast. We have the Scythe, talking about sudden endings. We have Romance, Romance and the Stone, romancing in your brain. What is it you guys are thinking about this morning? Comment down below. What is it each of you are up to this morning so I and our teammates can get to know you? We can take any questions now if you have any questions for the classwork while I'm casting some of these witches' ruins. My home group is Brotherhood of Male Witches. That has nothing to do with this business. So we will no longer be promoting them together. We will be promoting them separately in completely different ways. Okay? But it's going to be very much like this, Chris. All right? No more playing around on the Facebook group. We're going to be tightening up Brotherhood of Male Witches. We're going to be pulling back the responsibility card and putting it front and center in that group. And so some of you might know, all right, that we're tightening the reins, if you will, in the social media groups because there's just way too much treachery and self-centeredness. And as the creator over there, I unfortunately have had to make some parental decisions, all right, for its best interest. And so you will be seeing that later today. We're doing something very similar over there in Brotherhood of Male Witches. You are going to see something that's going to pull us together, and we're going to lose some because of it, Chris. But it's a necessary evil, if you will, because
Step
there's
right up, step right up, yes. You'll do nice, very tasty, healthy.
there's way too much debauchery, if you will, in the witchcraft scene, and so I'm going to tighten the reins on my group and the 13,000 members and those who want to stay and accept the responsibility and the ethics education. Awesome. But anyways, that's neither here nor there. But at least it's announced on Facebook here for those brothers if they're watching this morning. There will be posts once I'm unrestricted over there. So we have the Scythe showing up. Let's spread these out, my friends. Witches' ruins are an old casting divination tool that I don't see being talked about enough on YouTube, and that's why I'm bringing Witches' Ruins to YouTube. All right, I see a lot of tarot readers. There's about as many tarot readers as there is as many different humans in the country of Africa right now. There's that many. Population versus tarot readers, pretty close on here on YouTube. That's why I don't want to be a professional tarot reader because I don't have the inspiration, all right, or the will to go after that type of environment. There's probably at least 2 billion tarot readers now and growing. Everybody in the world thinks they can be a tarot reader, or there just happens to be a huge uptick of people in my generation or younger generation that just are coming to tarot. But I don't want to argue with that type of environment. A lot of people there are activated. A lot of people there are turned up and they use their ego to be tarot readers. I don't like that, and that's why I don't do it. I know that people seem to think I have an ego. That's another reason why we're coming to YouTube. We're going to educate the masses on who Tobias Josephson, who the Brotherhood of Male Witches, and who this business, Paranormal Witchcraft LLC, really is and how we operate. And we're doing it away from social media platforms on purpose. Okay? Because anybody can be a live streamer on YouTube or on Facebook. Anybody can be a TikTok sensational person. That's not hard to do right now. But what is hard to do is be somebody who's legitimate and be somebody who cares about educating the masses below us in more responsible, ethical ways. That is something that is not being done anywhere on the internet. All right? So enter Paranormal Witchcraft LLC. Okay? We're simply trying to show people a different way. We're not trying to take over the scenes. We're not trying to take over the world. We're just trying to share you guys a little bit of a different technique style. Okay? That being said, let's get into our Witches Runes read. I will be for about 15 minutes. Sudden changes and endings. Final decisions were made. We completed those tasks for us. We walked away from people, places, and things. Talked to the hand, right? Okay? And there was danger. We had to jump off of our tower and have a Geronimo moment and show that faith in the universe. We will pause now and ask a question. Have you guys, in the last year, felt like you were under the pressure of the Scythe energy? Did you feel like there was a sudden change in your life? Was there a sudden ending? Did you have to make a final decision? Comment below. Again, I am Tobias Josephson. Follow me here, obviously. And if you like anything you've seen, if you've learned anything you've seen today, if you've had any fun at all this morning, please subscribe and share with your friends. It helps us out as we grow. We are not a million man march type of business. We are a 501(c) or a 501c hybrid legitimate business here at Paranormal Witchcraft LLC. So welcome and merry meet everybody, and blessed be, as I say to everybody I meet. Let's talk about the romance, the love we have for our passions of paranormal investigations today. We're here today to get more love, more relationships. We're here to deepen that emotional connection with each other this morning. Welcome, merry meet. I am Tobias Josephson. My home is Brotherhood of Male Witches. This is my business. Okay, so welcome. I am so happy to see you, and I welcome you like a soulmate energy, open arms. All right, so welcome. I am so happy to see you guys. I too am here to look for more love and deeper spiritual connection here on YouTube. We move into the traditional female characteristics this morning as we are walking ourselves out the door into the gorgeous Thursday ether that we call the world or our existence. And it says the traditional abilities and characteristics we are using right now. And it could be some of us are being a healer, some of us are working from home, some of us are working on more creativity, some of us are working on more nurturing, others or ourselves. We're healing, we're healing, we're healing. Or we're creating, we're creating, we're creating. Let's walk ourselves out the door this morning so I can go catch some breakfast with my gorgeous wife. We have the rings. All right. By the way, Lady Fonda is coming with us on the 27th, and we will be working with Blue Mountain Paranormal, who is led by the indomitable Matthew Hornick, or Matt Hornick as everyone knows him. He's a great guy, all right, and I am looking forward to meeting him face to face and giving him a bear hug and getting to know the rest of his teammates. And we're just going to have a hell of a good time in a few weeks. Next week, 9 days, guys, 9 days. We're going to be turning it up and using that "Welcome to the Jungle" energy and having all kinds of fun. All right, so now you get to hear a little bit of my screechiness when I sing sometimes. My little "Welcome to the Jungle." That's the kind of energy we're going to be bringing to our investigations, if that gives anyone a little clue of how much of a bad boy this gentleman can be in the right context. And so we are ecstatic and over all the moons, and we're blessing all the gods and goddesses in humility and humbleness this morning because we are just giddy. We are giddy to get there and have some fun. It's been far too long, universe. So thank you. We claim, all right, blessings and blessed be, my friends, these circumstances that connect people, places, and things. We're all combining something different, something new with different elements because we're all creating a brand new cycle for ourselves. Beautiful. Walking out the door, we have harvest. Harvest is here this morning to show us at Paranormal Witchcraft LLC, right? that there are blessings on the horizon for everybody here on YouTube that is positively going to subscribe to us, positively going to be sharing us, positively going to be commenting with us or collaborating with us. And we know it because we're investing in ourselves hardcore in as teammates, as individuals, and so is Blue Mountain Paranormal. We're all investing in ourselves because we're all creating something that has something to do with the ring's energy. We're looking for those personal business rewards or those good feelings we're going to have next week. We're all ready for a better year with this fire horse energy. Don't forget, guys, we have a Mercury retrograde that is anchoring on the 20th tomorrow. All right. It is anchoring for a while. All right. Which means your travel plans, your communications, your friendship conversations, there may be some misinterpretation. That is what Mercury retrograde is good at, is confusing, misinterpretation, stifling plans. Watch what you say, who you say, where you go, and what you do. That's pretty much the basics you need to know for retrogrades. Mind your manners, mind your emotions, etc. Okay? So this year we're all providing for ourselves here. We're all educating for ourselves here. We're all rising our energy. We're not doing this heartbeat, you know, up, down, up, down, up, down. We don't want to do that. Okay, we want to come from a place of neutrality. All right, so that being said, I'm throwing away.
Wow, you're a fast one.
I'm putting this on the back burner, not throwing it away. So our safe magics, Monopoly board, and classwork that I've created here that you see in front of us is now going to be put back, all right, on the back burner until I know there's enough people in paranormal witchcraft that can handle these type of live streams. So we start at the beginning like we did this morning with the introduction to personal activation, energy activation, your emotions, how they activate a paranormal investigation location. So that is a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful spiritual affirmation this morning. I claim spirits, I claim universe, and I claim my personal deities. You know who you are. That being said, I am Tobias Josephson. We are up. Kyle Kaczynski, I forgot you, I believe, is our last member of Paranormal Witchcraft. So we are Paranormal Witchcraft. We are a team of witches, sorcerers, occultists who do like paranormal investigating. We do spiritual attack cases. If you're spiritually in trouble, please go to www.paranormalwitchcraft.com, all lowercase. You will email me directly and it'll show you my personal phone number if you're spiritually in trouble from entities or from fuck around, find out type of behaviors. Okay? When it comes to paranormal investigations or magic, I am here to serve, I am here to be of service, and I am Tobias Josephson. Blessings, blessed be, merry meet. So it is said, and so it is done. This concludes our first classwork podcast. Tobias out.